there, welcome back to my channel. It is of course Chelsea of She Designs Things. And in today's video, I'm going to be answering and demonstrating some of your most asked Google site questions. So of course, if you would like to see how I achieve certain styles, looks, domains, hosting, all of that, I will go ahead and lay that out in this video. So please continue to watch. All right, so I am trying to get back to a more natural schedule for my YouTube channel. Typically, I used to post on Fridays or Saturdays, but you know, I've been so busy with my other businesses and also just finishing out my clients and finishing my courses that I definitely want to start getting back into my YouTube channel and just back to what I enjoy doing. So let's start with some of the questions that you've left under my YouTube videos, and then I'm going to look at some questions that you've left under my Q&A and just kind of go from there. So the first question I received was how you found your first client. And I think I've made a video about this, but I say don't quit your day job. A lot of times the connections you make with within your day job or within whatever you're doing, you're going to meet someone who's going to need a website or who's going to need a brand or who's going to need a business card. And if those are in any of your wheelhouses, you definitely want to make sure that you tell people what you do. Let's say you're working at a random dead-end job, something that doesn't really have any growth for yourself. And one of the questions that people love to ask you at jobs like this is, well, what do you see yourself doing in the next 10 or 20 years? And if you know that you are, interested in web design or web development and it's something that you're doing behind the scenes anyway, talk about it. Talk about it all day, all night if you have to. It just keep people thinking about yourself. Even go as far as getting business cards made if you would like to, but also don't let people take advantage of you. My first client, I charged them $6,500 USD. The reason is I know exactly what I'm capable of, and I knew that I wasn't going to create something that I wouldn't be, interested in or proud of myself. So for that reason, I always just say, like, when you start charging whatever market rate is. I don't care if it's total trash. The reason is if you charge these low, cheap prices, you are only going to attract these low, cheap customers and clients, and it is going to damage you before you can even move forward, because people love to benefit off of your newness to things. And I would rather take the time to learn something brand new than I would rather than get stuck in this cycle of low paying clients, because that's what you're going to be referred, is continued low paying clients. All right, so moving on to the next question. It just says, I love the look of this. Can I ask if you used a template for the main page or was it totally custom? So whenever I'm making a Google site, it's always totally custom. I did post a video about this client Google site, so make sure you check that out. It was the last video that I posted, and I'll just go ahead and share with you what I did here. Again, this is a client site of mine. I did not start with a template base for this client. I did point out that this section here is just the same style and layout as I did for another design of mine, but layouts are not the same as design. Specifically when it comes to your Google site, it's not going to be the exact same thing as your design. You're going to have to make changes to your spacing. Everything is going to change based on the fonts, color palettes, photos. All of those things will change your layout. So I do not use like a template for my clients. And just so we're clear, this is a section that I stylized for the client. This is Monomore. This is a Monomore template. And right in here, you can see I have this text here and then the button down here towards the bottom. I like that design. So I did it similar here, but you can see the differences. I separated out the actual paragraphs, and then I actually moved the button over to here. So that was the difference in layout between the client one and this one. Well, I mean, this one's the client one and the other one, which is the template. Hi, is there a way to use Google Sites without having to buy a domain or anything? I'm very confused because we're using Google Sites for a classwork project. Absolutely. So you'll just be, when you go and select publish, it's going to give you a standard Google site link, and I'll show you what that looks like. So here back inside of that template, Mon Amour, I am just going to select publish. Well, actually, let me choose a different template. The reason I'm going to choose a different template is because if I select publish, it's going to change the way the files work inside of my Google site. So if you have a question about what I mean about that, then just leave it down below and I'll make a video answering it. So here we have Lola Joy, which is a limited release design. And Lola Joy's design, I just love this design. I love this design so much. So limited release design, if you click publish, which I already selected publish, anytime you make a change to the site, and I'm gonna see where I made a change. I must have made a change somewhere in there. So I did make a little bit of a change to the contact form. When you select publish, it's going to actually change the way your site looks. I'm gonna select publish, and I can view the site, or I can copy the link right here next to the little computer with a phone icon. This is going to give you that sites.google.com / whatever you named the site as. So if I were to unpublish the site, then I would get, a new site link, but I'm not going to do that because this is my live template file. And it's I use it in other places and I don't want to have to go and replace those. So this one is if I can show how to use Google Classroom as a community area. Absolutely, but that will have to be a separate video. And just a quick brief overview, I just created this class and I called it Jones Community. You can customize it over here, uploading a banner for your community. You can change the color palette down here. There's a lot that you can do inside of Google Sites. So I'm going to set this to orange. Which is what it is right now. So I'm just going to cancel. And you can announce something to your community. You can share this class code. Don't worry, this class will be deleted before you guys even get access to it because it's not a real one. You can also reset the code if you get people that come in that's a little bit on the sketch. And you can turn off this code. Turning off the code means you're going to have to generate a new code for the class. So just go ahead and turn the code off. And then if you want to announce stuff to your community, you can plan to post it. You can pick a date in which the post will appear. You can save a draft and finish later. And those are for your announcements. You can send it to specific people. Right now, the only thing I don't like about Google Classrooms is that it is very student-teacher relationshipy. And I think it has way more potential to be more than just a student-teacher relationship. It can be used in coaching. I actually use Google Classrooms in my coaching. So here is just a look just so you can see what a coaching session or a coaching classroom will look like if you utilized it for Google Sites. You have a stream, you have classwork, people, grades, which to me is just kind of irrelevant. And then you have the calendar, your actual drive, class settings. And if you click on classwork, for me, this is a great way of having coaching sessions. You can put in the action plans for those people, their monthly check-ins, business resources, your template library, just tutorials, their welcome center. Any of that information can get stored inside of your Google site. And I can show you just briefly what mine looks like. This is basically it. So keep that in mind. You have varying ways of sharing information, to individuals for your, Google Classroom. It's just a shame that it's stuck in this student teacher sort of relationship, and I wish that they would just change that so that you can change it from a student teacher relationship to maybe something else. All right, so the next question, can we upload unlimited products using a free Selfie account and embed it into Google Sites? If you can, that's done on the Selfie side and not really on the Google side. It's not a Google issue. So let's just take a look here. We have the different plans. I don't know if there's a free trial, but I don't know. There's not a free plan to my knowledge. So these are the different tiers that you have, and I believe that they're all unlimited products. So let's take a look. Yeah. even on the lowest tier, it's unlimited products. So just, keep that in mind whenever you're trying to figure out what payment processor you want to use. I use Selfie. And I also just have my own Stripe payment if someone wants to do with Stripe. But Stripe is also integrated within my Selfie, and so is my PayPal. But a lot of times when I'm working with individual clients, none of my clients pay through here. They all pay through in my invoicing system. So I don't find it necessary for me to always, add all my products to here because it doesn't always, I don't need to. But keep in mind there are no transaction fees. But just, you're still paying $29, so I count this as a part of your transaction fee. I'll be honest, that's what I count a part of your transaction fee is the monthly payment, or if you do 2 years, what it'll cost for 2 years, or what it costs for yearly. So it is quite expensive. It's right up there with Shopify, but to listen, these payment processors and storefronts, they get on my nerves. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Oh, and another thing is you don't want to embed the actual product into your Google site. You either want to have it as a standalone link coming out, or you want to just use their payment button. It is your choice. I do not place the full site on mine because I don't like the way it integrates with it. It makes the checkout a little bit buggy, but it's totally your choice. A couple other questions down. How did you get your first client and build a base so you can offer freelance services? Please share. And I've said this before in my videos of how I got a client. Don't quit your day job, which I answered first. And basically YouTube, I started making YouTube videos about the platform that nobody uses. And it worked out for me there. Let's see, going on down. This is amazing. Thank you. I took a look and wanted to ask you why you went with the menu bar on the right. So a lot of people love that top menu bar for Google sites. So let me share with you what that looks like. This is the top menu bar in Google sites. Like, I like it for certain designs, but when I want to have like that full, so see here how I have the full screen here, and then I have this box here. By the way, this box is an image. I decided to go with an image. If you've never seen a video, I made a video about this. And it just depends on the design aesthetic that I'm going for. I didn't want to have anything impeding along the side here because I wanted to really make sure that everything was centered in the middle without having the menu open up to the side, because it will be open depending on your display size. So we can see here like Lola Joy. I really love this design, guys. I love my limited release designs. And so it's gonna open up on the side whenever you're on a mobile because it's mobile friendly, but it's just like, when I'm looking at it, and I'll show you what it looks like if I were to change the theme. So I'm gonna go in here, change the theme, hit edit, navigation, and so from the top to the side, and then let's just preview what it looks like on a desktop. You see how now I lose what I had. I lose that aesthetic that I liked having before. So for me, it's just more of an aesthetic thing based on the layout of the particular site that I am working on. So next, okay, too complicated for noobs like me. I just use Equid apart from the annoying scroll bar, which I don't know how to remove. And I've tried your method and I couldn't get it to work. So Equid it is for now. So a lot of times if it doesn't work, there's something else missing in your embed code to allow for it to work. Keep in mind, I show my way of removing a scroll bar, but there are several other ways to hide, it should say hide the scroll bar in your embed code, and it just depends on the programming. It comes down to literally the programming language that they're using for their embed. You would think if it's an iframe, it's going to read very different than the A standard embed. They are not the same things, believe it or not. They are not the same things. So play around with it. There are different versions of doing it, but read your code first and then kind of go from there. But this person also made another question, and I just want to point this out. They've seen a video on how to transfer ownership of a Google site, but they don't have the transfer button and hasn't been removed. Okay, so I'm going to briefly show you how to transfer a Google site, but I'm going to also show you why this particular account of mine, my She Designs Things, can't transfer this Google site. So at the top, I'm going to hit the person icon to share with others, and I'm going to share this with my Poppy and Lily. And the first thing you have to do if you want to see the transfer is select the person as an editor and click send. You can send it as a message, but I'm just going to click send. And now I'm going to click share anyway. Look at this domain extension. It's at gmail.com. It is external to She Designs Things, who owns the item. This organization encourages caution when sharing externally. So I'm going to hit share and I'm going to send it. Now, once you send it, the individual who receives it, if they don't go in and check it out, that's fine. I can now go back in to the share option and select transfer ownership. When I select transfer ownership, the new owner will be notified and could remove you. You also might lose the ability to share settings. And I'm just going to click, yeah, that's fine. So I'm going to click to transfer. Sorry, cannot transfer ownership to hellopoppylily@gmail. Ownership can only be transferred to another user in the same organization as the current owner. So there you have it. You can transfer ownership from Gmail to Gmail account. So if I had created this in a Gmail account, I would absolutely be able to transfer this to Hello Poppy Lily. But because I did not, and this is not the same account style, I can't actually transfer ownership because it's not at shedesignsthings.com. So keep that in mind when you're looking for that transfer button, that it is only from Gmail to Gmail account if the person is not in your organization or at your same domain. So the last question I'm going to answer, because the other ones I just kind of want to make a separate video for, is this question right across here that says, I copied everything. I believe the HTML is where I couldn't get it to run. I receive an error, attempt to execute my function, but could not save. So if you receive attempt to execute my function, that is actually not on the HTML side. That is on the JavaScript side, or in this case, that's the code side for app scripts. So let's just go ahead and take a look at this app script form video that I have created. I'm just going to view on YouTube. And then if you are looking at this video, I am going to click on the blog post that I created specifically for, creating a contact form. So here is that contact form in AppScript, sort of the blog post for it. So let's see, I'm going to scroll down to where I have all the code, and I am actually going to share with you how to create this particular thing. So I'm going to copy this information here, copy it, copy the whole thing. I'm not changing anything. And now I'm going to go to a different account of mine. I don't want to go to my regular account, so I'm going to open a blank spreadsheet. And now I'm going to title this one test contact form. You can obviously title it the contact form that you want to title it. Don't title it test contact form. So I'm going to click on extensions, app script. And just so we're clear, I am not using a workspace, business account. I'm actually using a personal Gmail account. So now I'm going to change the project name, and I'm going to call this test 2. I don't know, contact form. It doesn't really matter. It's just the project name, and I'm going to click rename. So now we see when I open up, I'm here on the GS side. Everything I copied under my blog post. So I'm going to scroll down just so we don't forget. All this information here that I copied under my blog post, I'm going to highlight this, delete it, paste that information right in here. this is where I want to add my email so that I can get an email notification of that contact form that it was sent. So I'm going to put in my email address for this account, which should be shedevsthings@gmail. By the way, not my actual email, so I don't actually monitor this email account. It's my test account. So shedevsthings, if I can spell, things@gmail.com. And we see here now that's the email that this is going to go to. Now, I am not going to run it. I'm going to click Save Project. Okay. And now I'm going to click where it says Add a File. And I'm going to add an HTML file. Now, before I add that HTML file, I want to point out something. I haven't run the code yet, and the reason I haven't run it yet is because I haven't created the HTML service file. Typically, when I'm writing these out, I would have ran the code, but I don't have the file, so it's going to give me an error. So I'm going to click HTML, and now I need to title it exactly what it says for the template file, which here I titled it Contact. So I'm going to click back. You can see it's contact lowercase. This is very important. Lowercase. It is case sensitive. So I'm going to click rename just by right here where it says untitled.html. I'm going to rename it and I'm going to name it contact because that's what I named it here. So leave it as contact. And I am going to now go back to that blog post that I have and move this over to the side. And I'm going to copy this information, just copy the whole thing, copy. Go on back and pull this back over for you to take a peek. And now I'm going to go to contact, highlight this information, the whole thing, delete it, and then Control V to paste. And now I have pasted said information in here. And you can make little changes in here. You can change the style. You don't have to use the same style that I used in this contact form. You can change the title if you would like. Instead of saying contact form at the top, you can change it to hey there. I'm going to actually change it to hey there just so you can take a look to see what it'll look like. So hey there. And then I'm going to change, let's see, what do I want to change? I thank you for contacting us. We will be in touch. And I'm going to add in 24 to 48 hours just to be, a little bit generous. So now I'm going to save this to the project. Now that it's saved, I'm going to go back over to where it says code.js and I'm going to click run. When you click run, you need to review the permissions and you need to accept the permissions. You're going to receive an error because it's coming from your own account. So I'm going to click run. I'm going to click on the account that this is running and you're going to get this. This app is not verified. You want to click advanced and you want to click to go to, because if you don't, then you're not going to actually be able to run the script. So I'm going to click it. Yep, I want to allow this. Click allow. This is just the permissions for your actual form. And now we can see here I have executed it. There's no issue. Now I need to deploy it. To deploy this, I'm going to click on deploy. New deployment, and I'm going to click where it says select type web app, and I'm just going to title this V1 contact. If I can spell, I can't spell today. V1 contact. And now you see where it says only myself. We want to change that from not just anyone with a Google account, but anyone, because you want people to be able to view this on the web. So I'm gonna click anyone and I'm gonna click deploy. Once you click deploy, you have to wait for it to update. And then you're gonna receive this line here that says web app. Copy that script, click done. And now we're going to test this web app form. And to do that, I'm just open a new tab. I'm going to paste this here. And then I'm going to say right across here, just my name, which is Chelsea, and then I'm gonna put in an email, which is hey there, and I'm gonna say at Gmail. I don't know. I'll just write some random stuff, Gmail, and then hello, lady. And then we're just gonna hit submit, and we just want to see, okay, it works. It says thank you for contacting us, we'll be in touch in 24 to 48 hours. And now I'm going to go on over to where I have that Google Sheet, and I'm going to see here that yes, what I put in actually landed inside of the Google Sheet, so that I know that it is connected. And I'm going to go and check my email now, and I can see here me contact form submission, and I have a contact form submission. And if I look at it, there it is. There's the content for that contact form submission. So again, just copy it exactly as it is and make sure to run the functions. And I might have to update the blog post, but I don't think I actually wrote that you do have to run it. But you do need to run it before selecting deploy. All right, so I do hope that helped you with your contact form issue. All right, so I do hope this video has answered a lot of the questions that I've been receiving, some of them more common than others. And as always, thanks again so much for watching and answering, asking all your questions. I do like answering them. And just so you know, Poppy and Lily is open. I am adding products very slowly because every single thing in this store is handmade and handcrafted by me. So keep that in mind. Poppy and Lily is my physical products business. And so while I work on my physical products business, I also have my digital products business, which is She Designs Things. And I'm actually expanding She Designs Things, obviously adding more to my She Designs Things store. And then I'm also kind of debating if I want to stay in the Etsy platform, which I'll probably have to make a separate video about at some point because I don't know that I do. All right. Thanks again so much for watching. And of course, see ya.